Packers win. Here's our head coach, Matt LaFleur.
Sure, Tagliabue, I thought that was pretty special that he chose Lambeau Field versus the Chicago Bears Sunday night game. I thought that was awesome to be able to honor him. He did so much for this league, and it was pretty cool. I got a chance to meet him in pregame. Got a lot of respect for him. But as far as the game goes, I know it started off a little bit slow. I think the Chicago Bears came ready to play, and that's a credit to them, credit to their coaches, credit to their players. Got a lot of respect for those guys, but I was proud of our guys. There was no panic at halftime, and I thought we kind of got back to who we were in the second half, and I think that was pretty evident. There's a lot to clean up, obviously, in all three phases. Certainly, the special teams was not good enough. And there were moments offensively that weren't good enough, and as well as defensively. But anytime you win the turnover battle 3-0, I think that's a pretty big deal. So, but give the Bears a lot of credit. They came ready to play.
Matt, is a change at special teams coordinator on the table?
Absolutely not, Pete. We got to continue to work. We got to look at the tape. We got to get things corrected. It's not. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that, is there some things that we have to clean up as coaches? No doubt about it. But we have to execute better as well.
Matt, have you ever seen a first half like that with so many special teams errors?
Yeah, it was not good enough. But it wasn't just on teams. There were some big plays, defensively that we gave up, and offensively, would we start 3 and out, and then we started out with 3 of our first 4 possessions were punts. So that's not up to our standard as well.
So what can you do this late in the season, and you've got huge games coming up in the next month or so? What can you do to, you've had ongoing issues somewhere or other on special teams almost all season?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is it seems to come from each phase of teams, at times. On a bright side, I think our PAT field goal operation has been much improved. So I think that is on the bright side. I think our coverage units have been solid most of the year. Tonight they were not, and you got to give Grant a lot of credit. That guy he's a beast. Herbert did a nice job as a kickoff return. So you got to give those guys a lot of credit. But certainly it's not up to our standard. It's never an excuse. We were down to we lost some key special teams guys tonight, and that's just the reality. And we got to find guys to step into those roles, and we got to execute better. Bottom line, we got to coach better. We got to execute better.
Do you feel like you're putting in enough time on it in practice and all that?
Yeah, I do, Pete. Yeah.
Do you have any update on Billy Turner?
No updates.
I know half times are crazy with the small amount of time and everything you want to accomplish, but are you right there when Preston is delivering his fiery words? And if you can, give us kind of a glimpse of what you think that meant to your team.
Yeah, I think it started off with Aaron just telling everybody to take a deep breath, relax, focus in on doing your job. I kind of echoed that, and then usually I leave the locker room, and Preston gets the guys going. So I'm not quite sure what he said, but it seemed to be that everybody was on the same page. We knew what we had to get done. I think there was no panic. A lot of times that can trickle down from the coaches if there is panic, and I thought our staff did a nice job of just, hey guys, here's what we need to get corrected. I thought, it just, for whatever reason, the first half was as bad as it could get in certain areas, and I thought it was much improved in the second half.
The way Devontae tells it, that first touchdown was something they hadn't done in like 4 years, which is pre you getting here. When you were watching that play, did you know that Aaron had kind of drawn it up on his own, or did something different? Are you
Are you talking about the scissors club?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, we've done that, probably not with him. because he's typically on the back side of that, and out of 3x1 typically, and that was out of 2x2, I believe. And then that last touchdown, that was something that I've never seen before. So it's great to have great players, you know. They were talking about it on the sideline because we were talking about what we wanted to do, whether we wanted to run, you know, potentially a slant, potentially a fade, and they pulled one out of the archives and they were talking about it. They were talking to me about it. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this. And so we called that timeout. We kind of talked about it, and they went out there and executed it to perfection because based on the leverage of the corner, I mean, he was inside technique, and Tay sold the heck out of the fade and did a good job of getting him to flip his hips, and then Aaron delivered a great ball. We had the great protection up front. So it was just, all in all, great execution by those guys.
Given where Rodgers was, and that was number 61 against the Bears, any chance that you run the ball there, or were you aware of the moment in the situation?
Well, ironically enough, it was an RPO, so it was a run-pass option. We called a run, and if you don't like the look or get the look for the pass, then you run the ball. But we basically, the structure that they presented, it would have been tough to run the football in. And they had both safeties way up in there, and you know, that's life in the red zone at times, especially the closer you get to the goal line, then you can kind of trigger your safeties and into the run fits, and it makes it really difficult on an offense.
Now, what do you think of Dre? You know, after the week he endured, I don't know what he finished with, but I saw 16 tackles at one point.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. He's a guy that I definitely should have mentioned in that locker room that I didn't. So I apologize for that, Dre. But I just think it speaks to the person, the fact that he doesn't practice all week, and then he goes out there and leads us with 16 tackles, is all over the field, and just he's playing at a really high level, a Pro Bowl level, in my opinion. So he's been a great addition to this football team, and you know, I just got so much respect for him, and I've known him for a long time, since he got into the league in Atlanta, and just a guy that it's been fun just to see how he's grown, not only as a football player, but as a man over the years. You know, it's been quite some time since I've been around him, and he's been just everything that we could ever want in a player, and then some.
And this is what you call, you can almost say, unprecedented.
All right, so here you go in the NFC. Packers still trailing the Cardinals. They did beat Arizona head-to-head out in the desert earlier this year. So they right now chasing that number 1 seed. And remember, only the number 1 seed gets the bye. Also, 7 teams make the playoffs this year. Washington would have that spot in the NFC right now. That's the team of the league.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.